All right, Talitha Kumi, everyone. I I keep trying to stream this and everything keeps happening and my computer just crashed during the live like literally 10 minutes ago. So hopefully this will be a better turnout and we'll just talk and get things done. So essentially I am taking a new route with the show and with my episodes. I'm calling it I'm calling it Talitha culture. And this came to me as I was just at a couple of just business conferences, leadership conferences, and just asking God to show me where to take Woman Warrior Tribe, where to take the message of Talitha Kumi or Talitha Koum, which is Mark 5:41. Little girl, I say to you, arise. When Jesus raises Jairus' daughter from the dead, and I heard him say, "This is a culture. This is a message to impact the culture and the women of today's culture." And so, I just that was on my heart, and so we are now calling. Not every episode, but maybe just these particular episodes when I'm gonna just speak on how current events or trending things and things in my life, how I just kind of live my life according to this message of Talitha Kumi, and how I feel like it's a calling to be more than just women, right? But to be women of God, to be women warriors, and how that applies to our faith and just the mindset behind all of that, right? Just discussion. And if you guys want to share your thoughts below, feel free. There's not a lot of people on live, and I'm definitely not like a viral person yet. Hopefully, not to be viral, to just be popular, but to spread this message of Talitha Kumi. So in this episode, we're going to talk about my BJJ competition, my second one for the year, and why I train jiu-jitsu and all those things, my mindset. And then we're going to talk about Justin Baldoni. We're going to talk about his faith, his masculinity, and just what I see as someone who's caught in the crossfire of Hollywood drama, and how he was dragged into all of that, and like how basically, if discussing, is he going to still stay in Hollywood or not, and based on just the type of person he is, the world view he has, and the work he does, like, is Hollywood even a place for Justin Baldoni to be in, or maybe this whole situation is going to actually break a lot of that, a lot of what Hollywood is currently kind of like standing on, which is just a lot of immoral, unethical practices that hopefully, this whole case will kind of blow up and expose. So, and then I'm also going to talk about a book that I'm featured in. That you guys, put the link in. So yeah, let's get to it. We're gonna talk about it, and I don't have any fancy music, woo, to transition. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna actually share my screen for just to show you briefly my little highlight video, my competition. So if you're not following already, this is my Instagram, my personal Instagram, Serena Deep, and then you could also follow Women Warrior Tribe right here, Women Warrior Tribe. If you can see my mouse. I also have Talitha Jiu-Jitsu. We're trying to work on creating merchandise for jiu-jitsu gear for women of faith. So stay tuned to that. For that, I will let you guys know when that's launching. But yeah, let's get to it. So this is my highlight video for my competition. Actually, I don't know if that it's gonna flag like YouTube. I don't know if that song is copyrighted, but yeah, this girl is definitely bigger than me. But I was training for it. I was training hard for just game planning what we were gonna do for her, because I knew that, again, she was bigger than me, and she's a 2-time world champion in her weight class, and she's a tough gal, So she's also a brown belt, of course, and we're in the brown belt black belt division. My strategy going into it was to really just get her tired, to play the stand-up game with her, play the grips and the underhook game with her, get her tired, and then eventually get her to like eventually get down and either pull guard, which she eventually did in the second round. I believe she pulled guard, and I have I have a pretty, I guess you could say a little bit above average passing game. I wouldn't say it's the most spectacular passing, but I'm definitely like I try to be heavy on top. I've learned a lot of passing from training with Atos HQ for the last like 5 years when I was stationed down in Myanmar. So I've had the honor and privilege to be able to learn under Andre Galvao and his passing, especially because he's known for passing in his jiu-jitsu game and like especially wrestling too. So I'm just glad that I had all of that kind of like in my holster, that knowledge to confidently go into this competition and fight an opponent um, such as herself and who is I highly respect and you know uh, I think she told me that it's been a while since she's done an adult division. So this was adult division. There's like masters and there's kids and juveniles or whatever, and then there's adults and there's masters. So I'm also I could be qualified for masters, but I always sign up for adult just because I feel like that's where I get my most challenging competition. And yeah, so I'm just thankful for my coaches, One Jiu-Jitsu and Evan and Adam for just pushing me and encouraging me to compete. So one of the biggest questions I get for training jiu-jitsu and for women joining jiu-jitsu is they get scared. Not questions, but like the fears, I guess, is that women are afraid to train with men. And, that wasn't really an issue with myself. That wasn't an issue for myself when I first started, but it was an issue kind of as I started to train more and more, and as I started to get into different, positions, and as someone who has experienced SH, I experienced that when I was in elementary school. And then in middle school, I also experienced a form of SH. Like, it was a very discreet way that the person that was doing it to me, but I knew that it wasn't right, and so I turned him in. It was actually a teacher of mine, and then I got exposed as a young girl as well to like PORN. I got exposed to that when I was young, and just things that were very impure, that type of media, and I think it really messed with my head, and how I saw men. So as I started to train more, it started to really be a conflict for me, especially as I was diving more into faith. I started to get conflicted. Like, should I train with men in this way and all these things? Is it modest? Is it immodest? And I think it's definitely a mental game when you're at that point where you're just questioning whether it's modest or not. I mean, I I think it becomes immodest if you're doing weird stuff, when you're training. It's like, of course, it's going to be immodest if you're being promiscuous, if you're dressing immodestly when you're training, all those things. That's what it will be immodest, in my opinion. But, to overall just train and to go over technique and learn how to defend yourself, um, that's not immodest at all. I personally don't think so. And then also there's just like different boundaries, right? There's different levels of that where if you're married, is it appropriate to train with a man? And I've seen very religious men, like Muslims and even Catholic men, actually refuse to train with other women because they have wives and they don't want to touch other women in that way, and they don't want to be in close contact with women. So I highly respect that, and it's kind of one of the biggest reasons why eventually I want to start my own women's class and eventually a women's gym, because I kind of want to bring that safe space to the community and to women to be able to make that choice and not feel forced to have to just train with men, if they especially don't feel safe or comfortable, which they shouldn't have to be in a position where they have to compromise themselves. Of course, though, there's situations where they have to just do that, and that was kind of like where I was at, and that's given me so much strength and ability to go against men. But as I get older and as someone who's married and a mother and who has to train safe most of the time now, I kind of wish that I had more women to train with now, and which which I do have a couple of women at my gym that I'm able to train with. I'm so grateful for, but again, it's like I wish I did have more women to train with on a daily basis. With all that said, though, if you are looking into training jujitsu, you can definitely just look up in your neighborhood or the nearest city that might have it, and look at to see if they have a women's program, a solid women's program. And that I would say start from there. That'll get your foot in the door with jujitsu, and just keep going. Just learn, ask questions, write and take notes, be open minded, and just my biggest thing is like I want women to feel safe in those atmospheres as well. And so yeah, that was I guess that's my whole mindset about it too. And and I also am featured in a book actually that was just published, and my cousin actually he's my cousin, uncle, relative, but he and his good friend published this book called Jiu-Jitsu Unlocked. So definitely recommend getting it. I'll post the link below on Amazon. It's an Amazon link. So it's an awesome book, and I'm in like the back pages. It has a fit photo of me and my family, and just my story on how I started jiu-jitsu very briefly. But yeah, here I am. Here it is. There. I don't know if you can see it, but so yeah. So definitely get this book. It's amazing. It's very well written, and I just love all the detail that they go into. So super proud of you, Sean, for publishing this book. But yeah, and so now let's get to Justin Baldoni, right? Let's get into Justin because it's such a viral viral trending topic of discussion on the internet. But I think this is a wake up call to Justin, actually. I think this is a wake up call to him to either leave the industry or leave a certain part of the industry behind, and to focus on work that is going to really, I guess, is going to take him to the next level spiritually. He talks about faith quite often on podcasts. He's been on a quite a bit of podcasts that are, kind of like your typical deep personal growth spiritual podcast. So he's been on like the Lewis Howes podcast. He's been on the Jay Shetty podcast. He's been on obviously he has a podcast called Man Enough. And then he's been on Rainn Wilson's podcast. I think it's called like Soul something. But when you look at all the podcasts that he's been on, a lot of it is discussion about, being vulnerable and taking away toxic masculinity, but still being masculine. And I don't agree with Megyn Kelly. Let's look it up. Megyn Kelly on Justin Baldoni, and I'm going to share my thoughts on what she says, because I personally don't agree with it. Oh, here it is. All right. So let me pull it up here. But yeah, I personally don't agree with her take on it. So
I defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie. But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in recent history. Everything he says is self-flagellating over the fact that he's a man. But he's, to me, is sort of the embodiment of what happens when you totally emasculate a man. And then she continued. She took that stiletto and stuck it in his heart when he was down there self-flagellating, being so sorry for anything having to do with his testosterone. And so that's what happens to you, right? You run into somebody who seems like a witch who will take advantage of you and hurt you until finally even that kind of a guy rises up. Now, he didn't do it himself exactly. He hired a badass named Brian Friedman. And he has badass women like me defending him.
So essentially, Megyn says that Justin is overly feminized, that he was basically bullied. Like, that's what happened, really. Blake bullied him for sure. But I feel like she doesn't really understand Justin, honestly. I mean, if you really listen to his podcasts and see all the work he does, I mean, all the stuff he does is very masculine in a lot of ways. Like he provides for his family. These other guys, they did a reaction video to Justin's home tour, but let's see if we can find it here. Justin Baldoni. There's a lot on Justin home, but he's like a family guy. Oh, let's shut that off really quick. That is not my ad. All right.
Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Can you say hi? Come on. Want to show them the house?
His children are so cute.
Dinosaur roar welcome. Yes. You want to do dinosaur roar? Ready? Roar. Come on in. This is our kitchen. We actually built this house. So we tore it down and we got to build our dream house, didn't we? Do you like the kitchen?
And Daddy is the best chef in the world. True.
It's not
so
really,
we
not
actually
really.
They build their house. Like, to me, that is just I don't see that as someone who is like overly feminized, if he was like overly feminized, he just wouldn't be as fit as he is. He wouldn't be as hands-on as he is. Clearly they made their own house. And um wait, I got a flag. Hopefully this doesn't we turn it. Okay. Okay, yeah, I gotta add the channel too. Okay. But yeah, let's just stop streaming this video. But this one is a really good video. It just shows you the type of man he is. He's a family man. I'll link the video to you guys below in the in the description. But yeah, like, this guy's a family man. And actually the one thing I heard, yeah, right here, it says Justin. So where he lives, he has this house, and he has like this other house. I don't know if they're the same house, but apparently he lent his home to victims of the LA fires. So like, he's awesome. He literally lent his home to victims, and I think him and his wife went to Hawaii, I believe. So yeah, with all that said, I feel like the way Megan tries to portray Justin is exactly the way Candace Owens tries to portray Justin as well, that he's just this overly feminized man, which is really not the case. I mean, he's just a guy that can really express himself, and he knows how to do that. And I think that's something that we do need more from our men. I think that our men need to learn to communicate more, to be more vulnerable, not in a emasculating way, but to be able to um, just kind of dig deeper, to work on the heart work, to work on their wounds, to heal their wounds. I mean, Justin really talks about that in a lot of podcasts that he is invited on, because men really need that the most, honestly. Like, women, we're all about the healing, we're all about therapy, we're all about um manicures and pedicures, and taking a day for ourselves, spa days and things like that. Men, they don't really get things like that. I mean, yeah, there are some men that do things to take take the load off, right? Like play video games. But when we're talking about actually confronting a lot of the deeper things that they're experiencing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they often don't have outlets for that. And I remember seeing one of Justin's interviews with Rainn Wilson, or was it Rainn or was it Lewis Howes? Actually, I think it was Lewis. I might get flagged for showing his video, but this one, I'm going to pause it. But I highly recommend looking at this, or seeing this podcast, or listening to this podcast on Lewis Howes, because Lewis Howes, I'm trying to figure. I have a friend named Hohen, and every time I see Lewis's last name now, I think of saying his name like Howes, but it's Lewis Howes. But this interview, oh sorry, I'm not even streaming it. But this interview was into Justin really goes into a lot of the deeper work that he's done to get where he's at with his spiritual health and his mental health. And I think it's so important. So I highly recommend watching it. I don't it, and so he does talk about his Baha'i faith. So obviously as a Christian channel, like we don't believe in the Baha'i faith, and as far as their kind of so relativistic view on um I guess religion and Christianity and things like that, or just in general religious beliefs. They have a more relativistic view, which is like everything, kind of like Buddhism. They have this view that, we're all one and, love and, just, as long as it's not hurting anybody, all those things, right? Which is, I know there's deeper aspects to the Baha'i faith, so I'm not trying to like downplay it. I mean, it sounds like Justin and the work that they do in his Baha'i faith is deeper than, is a lot deeper than maybe what they used to be before. Like I think a lot of the aspects of every religion at this point has been challenged because of a lot of the things that people have gone through, and a lot of mistakes that religious institutions have made, with their congregation and with their believers. So, I think Justin is doing a great thing with just being a light to the world, and as far as much as he knows. He even talks about in like I think in this interview or the Rainn Wilson interview, he talks about ser- uh, you know, I think your his call to serving, or something about being serving basically, and wanting to serve others. So it's really beautiful. I think someone wrote, oh, here, someone wrote in this comment, I honestly cannot fathom that this is on a free resource. It took me almost 20K to learn this from self hurt through a therapist. Your wording, Justin, and deep understanding of this is incredible. Thank you, Lewis, for your videos. It just goes to show how much Justin helps men, especially. I mean, and especially with all the that actually I don't know if that was a guy. It says Juan something. So hopefully that is, yeah, I think it's a guy who commented that. But with all of that said, I think Justin is a very, very special and different, unique soul, and I don't think Hollywood like really understands that. He's not like a shallow person. He's not like, yeah, love everyone, like, yay, peace. Like, I don't think he's shallow like that. I think he has this relativistic view through his faith of as far as faith is concerned, but I think he's very deep, and I think that a lot of people have discussed too, like the way Blake treated that and kind of received that. Either was she took that as him having vibes with her, like, having, sharing feelings with her and having special feelings with her and special experiences with her, that she maybe took as romantic, when literally that's just Justin. He could have this deep conversation with you and be completely platonic and be super deep and vulnerable and say certain things that are super vulnerable, maybe too much. I remember I was reading, or I was listening to one of I think it was Be Better on TikTok. Be Better, he was talking about Justin. It might have been another TikTok creator. I'm so sorry, but Be Better does some great job with going over all the legal documents and everything. But someone went over all of the the documents, and one of the parts of the documents was that Justin and Blake would spend a lot of time together going over the script, late nights going over the script, and they would talk a lot, and they would a lot of laughing, a lot of, I don't know if they were drinking or not, but apparently that was just that's the reality of working with your actors and working with actors and actresses as well. It's like you are with them 20 like a lot. And so Blake having history of falling for her co-stars, she has history of that, so it's definitely highly possible that she had some feelings with for Justin, and he didn't reciprocate that in the way she thought. And so, I mean, there's probably more to that too, but I think that was an aspect of it that she wasn't used to, that he wasn't just gonna, head over heels for her. Oh, here's a post from Lila Rose. Actually, she talks about, actually, this is an aspect of a Christian aspect of it, a Christian take on it, where I think is really important to talk about, which is, pretty much sex scenes. Um, you know, from a Christian perspective, we as Christians, we don't think they are necessary in movies at all. And she asks, "Who's at fault for the feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni?" And then she says, "My hot take: Hollywood's decency standards have gone too far, and all of this drama could have been avoided. Are you Team Blake or Team Justin?" So, obviously, a lot of us think that this isn't just about sexual harassment. A lot of us think that this is about Blake wanting to take over the movie, and she used the claim of sexual harassment to to take over Justin's movie. But with that said, Lila has a great point. If there wasn't any sex scenes in it, or if there wasn't any intimacy scenes like that deep into into sex scenes, hopefully I don't get flagged for saying I said it once, but maybe Justin wouldn't be in the position he's in, because there wouldn't be any intimacy scenes like that. I think she has a great point. Again, I'm Team Justin, but I think she has a great point. I think also, like I said, I don't know if I said this, but I don't think Justin is going to go back into Hollywood, or at least he's not going to go back into the same type of industry or a same type of branch of Hollywood, or he's just going to completely branch off into a different like realm of media, or like do the stuff that he was doing, but not kind of work with, maybe high level female actresses like Blake Lively. I don't know. I just don't think he's going to go back to Hollywood. I think that this is going to traumatize him. I think he's going to get his money, and he's going to do all the great work he's been doing, but I don't think he's going to go back into like Hollywood. I don't even think he's that type of person anyway. Because Hollywood just chews you up and spits you back out, like Blake Lively clearly and Ryan Reynolds are trying to do. And it's unfortunate because look at Blake holding a little baby, but it's unfortunate because they have children and their families, their real families, and so I don't wish pain and humiliation onto Blake or her family. Okay, maybe she deserves a little bit of that, but not her family. I don't think her babies deserve that. I don't think they should be receiving death threats or anything like that. I know even Justin has received death threats, but all the like threatening and all those things that are going on between the both of the camps, I think should definitely stop. I don't think it's Christian at all. So yeah, what is your hot take? Do you think that maybe if there wasn't intimacy scenes, do you think that Justin you know, would have been saved from all of this? I think that Blake, either way, she would have found a way to take over the movie, honestly. I know I've met people like her, and they're hard to navigate around. They're very, very smart and manipulative, and anything you do, they can twist and turn and find ways to pretty much turn you into the perpetrator and make themselves the victim. So uh, I do think though that the SCX scenes and all those things, we definitely don't need those in Hollywood movies, and that's just speaking as a Christian, right? Um, I think that Justin is not going to go back into Hollywood, and I think that, and for Blake Lively, I think that she either needs to post an apology and a public apology, or they're just going to kind of disappear. I don't know. Either way, I wish both of them the very best healing, and moving forward, I hope that they find the one true God, the one true faith, the one true church, and they just they surrender their lives to God. They surrender their paths and the decisions, all everything to God, and that they find healing, and they find a way to utilize their status for God's glory. So tell me what you guys think. Are you guys Team Justin, Team Blake? Do you guys think that there should have been SEX scenes, or if there were any, or if there weren't any, would Justin still be in the place that he's in now with the feud? Yeah, do you like Justin's faith or his so-called overly feminine character? I don't think that it's overly feminine. I think he's just very, very in tune with his with where he's at in his personal growth. And I think he, as someone who is an influencer, as someone who is a celebrity, as someone who is in the spotlight a lot, he needs to learn how to articulate himself and be able to impact others. So as someone who's read a lot of personal development books and business books and spiritual books, You read that a lot in books like that. So it's not uncommon as people think, especially like for Megyn Kelly, who's a conservative. I think it's kind of it's like it's sad that you don't know men like Justin. I mean, it is sad because it's like we need more men like Justin who are who just can express themselves well to confront their wounds and to heal and help other men do that. That in that aspect, I think it's sad that Megyn Kelly didn't see that aspect of it. It's probably because she didn't do a lot of research into his work. But Justin is an amazing person. I highly recommend looking into a lot of his work. His help, he's helped a lot of people who literally like were on their deathbeds. He shared their stories through certain film projects. Even on the red carpet of the premiere of It Ends With Us, he actually brought a gal who was unfortunately she was terminally ill, or she was passing, she was in her process of unfortunately slowly dying. He brought her to the premiere, and Blake still put this girl in the basement with Justin and his family. So it's not good, not good at all. I don't like Blake's her I don't like her character. I don't like her attitude. I think she handled it very terribly, all of that, and it's unfortunate. So let's all learn from this, okay? Let's all learn to be good people, to treat people the right way, and to love people, to understand them. I think even when you look into a lot of Justin's texts and his voice notes and all those things, he's a very, very articulate, and he's very expressive. He's all about communication. And even actually when Megan talks about him self-flagellating, I think it was more so when he was doing all of that, he was really trying to approach the situation in the best way he knew, which was to um and I think he thought as well, like maybe, oh, maybe I'm the problem, maybe we need to definitely work together. And I've been that way too, where I tend to self-flagellate, so that thinking that the best way forward is peace. And I think that's what Justin was trying to do, because there was so much tension already around Blake, already trying to take over the movie from the very beginning. So I think Justin was just trying to have peace throughout the whole process. And I think sometimes the only way through is the hardest route, which is saying what really needs to be said, and to push through that and work through that, even if it means having more difficult discussions. Because if you wait too long, or if you wait to the very end of it, what could happen is this what's going on now. It's like an explosion of drama. And I think Justin was just trying to figure out the best way forward and try to take the route of being like extra peaceful with her, and to let her get her way. Because I don't think he saw, I don't think he saw like, I don't think he saw like that far ahead that she was going to actually claim SH against him. I think he thought that as long as the message of the movie gets out there, I think that's where his mind was at, and he was willing to let her take the spotlight so that the message of the movie would be out there. And it was her fault that she did the marketing she did. I mean, tone deaf marketing, all those things. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the chat or in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later on the next Talitha Culture episode. Love you guys. Talitha Kumi.